Boris Johnson may be in a better position to walk away from EU trade negotiations without a deal than previously thought, according to trade experts. Post-Brexit trade talks are set to take place at breakneck speed over the next few months after the UK shut down the EU's plea to extend the transition period. Prime Minister Boris Johnson said that he would rather walk away from negotiations than make the Brexit process last even longer. While some commentators have claimed this is just a front and the government is actually very keen to seal a deal with the bloc, others have suggested that recent events mean the UK no longer needs such an agreement. At the beginning of the month, The New York Times explained how some analysts have questioned if an EU trade agreement is still the best for Britain in light of the coronavirus pandemic. London bureau chief Mark Lendler and London correspondent Stephen Castle wrote that a no-deal outcome now seems entirely plausible, and could be best for the government. They explained, far from pressuring Mr. Johnson to plead for more time, the pandemic is reordering the global economy in ways that have led some to question whether an agreement with Europe even makes sense for Britain anymore. With Mr. Johnson under fire for his chaotic handling of the virus, the compromises he would have to make with Brussels might be too great for his embattled government. A former European Commission economist Mojtaba Rahman told The New York Times, COVID-19, in the eyes of the government, has further reduced the value of a deal. The economy after the crisis is going to look fundamentally different than before the crisis, and the government wants a freer hand in reshaping that economy. The UK and the EU have been in deadlocked trade talks since Britain officially left the bloc at the end of January. The two sides have been stuck in disagreement over a so-called level playing field, access to UK fisheries and the governance of any future agreement. If no deal has been reached by the end of the year, the UK will default to a World Trade Organization trade agreement with the EU, which is known as no deal. Analysts have claimed that this outcome will shock the economy in the UK. However, extending the transition period in the hope of securing a deal, according to The New York Times, could risk a politically poisonous outcome for Mr. Johnson, as the UK would have to pay billions of pounds to stay with the EU's trading regime.